Quitte à devenir mégalo, viens donc chatouiller mon ego. Allez, 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 laisse.
Hi guys, so good evening and welcome to my magical world. Okay, so if you are new here, I am Frostbite and I usually discuss things here. Oh my god, there's a moth. It's a moth, it's a moth. It's nothing, it's not a fly. Okay. So yeah. So I usually discuss things here and you know I also put my life's journey or whatever that is happening around me or currently or in the past, whatever guys. So I post it here. Also, if I made mistake, it's also out there. I don't edit. Okay, so um, yeah, just wanna tell you that. Okay, so we're going to discuss things. Also, this filter I like it because it matches my my shirt. Okay, so um we'll have an important discussion right now. This is like a devilish, an evilish look because our topic for tonight is ego death. Okay, here are 7 terrifying and illuminating stages. So we'll run through that and we'll read it. We'll read that because I have all the time in the world and I miss you guys. I really miss you. So now we're just going to start. Okay, so some introduction. Some introduction. So waking up is an endless losing what you think you know, like a wave of destruction that leaves nothing but what is true. So this is by Unmoney. So I don't know if this is a girl or a boy. So he said that was like some quote or saying or whatever guys, slogan. So yes, it's like that. So let's have some information about this. Read some information. So death is a word that we humans usually associate with darkness, mourning, decay, and general creepiness. Right? So we spend our entire lives running away from, avoiding, and denying the fact that we will someday physically die. However, death, the death that I'm talking about in this article isn't the typical kind of death we fear. So, the death that I'll be referring to is the most beautiful, illuminating, awe-inspiring, expansive, enlightening, and paradigm-shattering experience you could ever go through. That was so long. And thorough explanation. Okay? So, it okay, so this experience is known as ego death. Okay? And for every serious spiritual seeker, it is a pivotal part of the spiritual awakening journey. So, we all have that kind of ego, but I think more men have this kind of trait than women. Do you agree? Yes, you agree, right? I am not biased, guys. Okay, I'm just spitting facts. So let's define ego for you to understand. Okay? Since if you are already smart, okay. Hear me out. Okay? Because you don't know everything in this world. Do not be self do not be so conceited. Okay? So in order to understand what is ego death is, we must first understand what the ego is. Okay? So what is ego? Ego is basically our sense of a self, or our identity. So the ego is a biological and spiritual tool that defends the belief that we are all separate individual entities. So as a result of believing that we are separate and isolated in this life, we suffer immensely. So the ego and duality. So wait lang guys, okay? So I'm just going to check if I'm reading this correctly so that I can deliver the words to you uh, properly. Okay, the introduction was too much, but I think I already said to you like the important part of it. Okay, so we'll proceed to the stages of. Okay, so yeah, so ego death happens in stages, and if courageously pursued, eventually results in the experience of self-realization, a nirvana, oneness, spiritual ascension, or enlightenment. While ego death is not formulaic, I'm not sure, or necessarily predictable, it does tend to follow a pattern. Okay, so the first stage is spiritual awakening. I'm sure you probably heard this a lot of times, since there are like I think hundreds or even thousands of spiritual people that are a bit popular nowadays. So I'm sure that you already heard this word. But for those who didn't yet, if you are younger person that okay, just hear me out. So this is like not entirely from me. This is articles from here that I explain in my own way. Okay? So it's like that. So in the first stage of ego death, we begin to wake up to life. Okay, our process of spiritual awakening might be triggered by an existential crisis, a tragedy, a chronic illness, or simply the natural process of soulful maturing. When we experience a spiritual awakening, we begin to search for more depth in life. Often we ask big questions such as, what is my purpose? What is the meaning of this life? And what happens after death? Spiritual awakenings are triggered by the sensation that something profound is missing in life, and they're accompanied by feelings of depression and anxiety. So in my case, what happened like in the past, it was actually a tragedy. It's not something to be discussed here. So it is like that. It's like that. Okay. But I already move on from that. But since we have memories and I am not um and we are not yet having, I don't know if it's already there or if it's not yet there. Vaccines that can alter or delete some part of the memory. But I heard articles that it's already out here. Okay, so if you wanted to like remove a part of your memory of someone, you actually can. It's possible. You know that everything is possible now, guys. So yeah. Okay. So next is the stage 2, the dark night of the soul. So the dark night of the soul is inseparable from spiritual awakening process. When we experience the dark night, we become extremely conscious of our separation from ourselves, other people, and the divine. How does the dark night often lead to ego death? The dark night of the soul is a period when we feel utterly lost, lonely, and isolated from others. It is the accumulation or culmination of our suffering. I had this experience. I experienced this all few years ago, like 2014, I think. Moving forward, it was years, guys, years before I come back to myself now. It's extreme suffering. So yeah, it's like that. It's hard to explain, but the very essence of that is that you're absolutely feeling lost in your life. It's like that. Deep down, we know something has to drastically change in our life, but we don't know what or where to look. Okay? Often this experience culminates in a sudden pop of the ego bubble, like the cork from a wine bottle suddenly realizing pressure. So I think if you are born to be awakened in this lifetime, there is no choice, guys. You are meant to undergo these things because you are meant to awaken. and you are lucky. Believe me, okay? Because this is a hard stuff. A lot of people are in avoidance of this, and there's also a massive people out there in the world that are not evolving, growing, or becoming, or, fulfilling their path, their mission here on earth. So I'm just saying it's like that. Stage 3, the spiritual seeker. Okay? Eventually, after experiencing a spiritual awakening in the dark night of the soul, we stumble into the field of spirituality. We start experimenting with different spiritual practices and find that some alleviate our suffering. So we became obsessed with reducing the suffering we have been carrying and explore many different fields such as energy, healing, Zen, yoga, astrology, mysticism, etc. So I think this is like the process where you look into something and you try to find some explanation, some resolution, finding your identity, yourself, your existence, your entire existence here. Where do you fit? What you need to do here on earth? Okay, things like that, guys. So it's a hard thing to do. It's not like, oh, I found this thing and I'm doing this, and it's actually like, it's not like that. It's a process. So you don't take it easy on yourself. Okay, take it easy. You don't need to rush things. We are not rushing things because eventually we're all gonna die. We don't rush things. Okay, guys, we let it flow. And yeah, just saying, as much as you think you are in control of your entire existence, you are not, even though you have free will. Okay, so you must know how to pivot. Okay, next is stage 4, Satori. I don't know this. Let's read this. I don't know this, actually. The word Satori is a Zen Buddhist word that means momentary enlightenment. Satori is a small glimpse into your true nature or consciousness itself, a moment when your ego completely dissolves. This is hard to reach. Completely dissolves, right? But eventually you'll get there, guys. Okay? For some, this experience is scary and the spiritual growth stagnates. But for others, the Satori experience is deeply life-changing and spiritual growth continues. Many describe Satori as being the result of a Kundalini awakening. So, I'm going to discuss what is Kundalini awakening in the next succeeding topics. Okay, so maybe after this one, after this topic. Okay, so the fifth stage is the elder soul. Okay, let's read. After a certain period of time, we begin to develop spiritual discernment. We discover the gimmicks and spiritual bypassing practices that keep us trapped in the cycle of pain, fear, and separation, and learn practices that open us to the divine as we begin to experience more soulful maturity and reconnect with the higher self. So, we learn the virtues of self-discipline, patience, and focus. Okay, so there are amazing topics up next, guys, so you wait for that. We constantly need to read since you are lazy. I know that you are lazy, and I am lazy too sometimes. No, not. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not lazy. I'm not lazy, but there are times that depends on the planetary position. You don't have much energy, but that doesn't mean that you're actually lazy. So yeah, and just mention blah blah. I just mentioned that. Okay, the sixth stage, dissolution and dissolution and deconstruction. Something like chemistry, dissolution. We studied this one. Okay, So next is, in this stage, we begin to surrender all that we are not. So yeah, if you constantly uh, do something that is, I'm just gonna, guys, I'm gonna give you a heads up, okay? So the moment you think that you are in control of your life, you don't. You apply for a job several times, you don't get it. You do the other things that you want, you don't get it. You talk to your family and there are a lot of issues and you're not getting what you want. So this is the time that you need to surrender. You need to have, you need to be in a reflective state and stop fighting. Because I do that a lot of times before. I keep on persisting things that I want, but eventually it just hurts a lot because you're not actually getting what what you want, because it's like the universe or your God is teaching you something else. Our God is probably teaching you to wait, okay, to resolve family issues, or I don't know, guys, I don't know, I can't tell you, we have different experiences. I'm just saying that sometimes you do that, reflective state, so that you will stop and listen to, to the divine to the signs that you need to wait. I think you need to wait. Okay, so this stage is not just about identifying our destructive and limiting beliefs and behavior patterns, but actually letting go of them and letting the light in. When there's so much darkness, you don't know where to start, what to do. You sit there, you meditate. Meditation is extremely hard, but try it. Okay, try. Try. There's a song like that. Okay, so yeah, I'm just saying. Okay, next is grace. No, we're not yet done. Grace, discipline, trust, courage, non-attachment, humility, and love all play an important role in this process. So it's not just you guys. There's a theme on this. The good qualities that you must understand, like the grace, the discipline. I will add gratitude, of course, trust, courage, trust that everything will work on your favor, courage to pursue, to per to per not what you desire, but the courage to never give up. Okay, like that. Humility and love, most of all. Of course, love. The love is not the kind of love that you are thinking. Love that is self-love and unconditional love. Okay? Oh, this one is the last. The seventh stage, the end of the search. Finally, we come to a stop. We realize that all that we are and all that we need can be found right now. The search to become something, to lose something, to find something, and to accomplish something perishes. We see through the illusion of looking for truth, joy, peace, and love in any place outside of ourselves. We see the truth. We are mirrored in all beings and all things. We experience interconnectedness and oneness. While the ego still exists, we became aware of the ego as simply a tool, not the truth of who we are. So it's a tool, guys, okay? So it's not who we are. Transcending duality and the grip of the ego, we develop the capacity to give unconditional love and acceptance. This is the state of the ultimate inner peace, freedom, and what people refer to as enlightenment. Yet those who experience this know that no possible label or mental construct can describe such an experience. The end is the beginning, and the beginning is the end. right? Oh my god, sounds like 2012. You know, guys, I remember when it's 2012, right? Like, each and every person around the planet was like saying that it's the end of the world, when in fact it's not. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, not yet. So there's a quote right here. I'm gonna read it to you. So, we shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. By T.S. Eliot. Hard to explain, you understand it naman eh. So, that's it, guys. Okay? So, one more thing. This is from the popular writer Eckhart Tolle. Tolle. I'm not sure, okay? So, he said that death is a stripping away of all that is not you. The secret of life is to die before you die. Okay? Do you hear that? And find that there is no death. I'm gonna repeat, okay? Death is a stripping away of all that is not you. The secret of life is to die before you die and find that there is no death. Okay? He said that from the book The Power of Now. So, this quote is actually hard to understand if you're just a casual person who's not into these things, but it's okay. I mean, so it's all right. So that's all, guys. We're going to discuss again later. Okay, so thank you guys for listening. Thank you for helping me make this world a better place for all of us and for the future generation. So that's it, guys. See you later. Bye bye.
Moi rentrer dans ta matrice, goûter à tes délices, personne ne peut m'en dissuader. Allez, 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 je ferai tout pour t'accompagner, tellement je suis borné, je suis bien.